All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to this Sunday collective reading. Hope everybody's doing great. You picked a great one to join today because I'm going to change things up a little bit. Usually I would do 3 topics and I would have a general. And as I was kind of looking at that, I thought it would be much better if we stuck with 2. And because I'm going to be doing a Sunday collective for the next several weeks here as a test, what I would like to do at the beginning is to focus on giving you an outlook for the week ahead and for like this moment in time. And then we'll look at the 2 topics this month, which are regaining focus, kind of like getting the big picture, and then career and sort of like your general career outlook, career and finances. That can be something that will last a little bit longer, like for the next month. But so this will be kind of a combination. If you join me on Sundays, you'll have a chance to see what's coming through for the week ahead. Then you can look at all my regular videos on YouTube to get a feel for what's coming through for this current month and then the next month. So I thought this would be better. Then there wouldn't be so much sort of overlap. And I used to do weeklies, but if I'm going to do a weekly Sunday, then we can kind of tap into the energy of weekly readings. And I'm going to pull a little bit differently. I'll see how it feels today. When I read for a client and look for, a week ahead or a month ahead, I'll usually do a card per day. So maybe that's what I will do at the beginning, is we'll pull a card per day. And then I used to do blessings and blocks. The other thing that I could do is maybe pull 4 cards looking at like fire, earth, air, water. We'll see how it goes. Today is going to be very organic, very much in the moment. And these Sunday readings are going to evolve. So they'll always be fresh and changing. And they'll always have topics which are chosen by all of you, especially my channel members and my Patreon supporters who currently get 2 votes. Usually it's just them, but there's some sort of a quirk with YouTube. So I kind of opened it up to everyone, but they get 2. So thank you so much to everybody who supported me. All right. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. That little furry, lovely being that was with me was Apollo, my puppy. We're going to be looking at readings and information here for everyone. So if you showed up, it's for you. I typically don't go through all 12 signs. At most, I might look at the elements, but I'm not going to go into each and every sign. That's not how I work here, and it would also be kind of exhaustive and boring for everybody. So if you show up, I'll tap into your energy because I am clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient. I can kind of go through all the clairs and I'll pull what I need to for this reading. In fact, the very beginning is going to be channeled messages that I received in meditation. I was scribbling feverishly to get a lot of this done because I was also changing up the format a little bit today. So, apologies. I'm going to actually probably channel a lot more of it live today. After we do that, we'll go into the weekly sort of outlook. And then we're going to do 2 Celtic crosses looking at the big questions that you wanted me to look at. Again, regaining focus. If you've lost sort of the direction in your life, we're going to help you get the big picture back. What's going on? Sometimes it'll be revealing maybe where the wrong turn was or where you're kind of feeling stuck. So that'll be the first part. And then the second part will be the career outlook and career and finance. So if there's opportunities or things you need to be aware of, we'll be looking at it there. And then I always end with a meditation and then a final card where I pull based on your question, a silent meditated question that you sent to me. So I feel like it's a tighter kind of organization. So I hope you like it. Constantly trying new things, constantly changing. So leave some comments below once this is on replay. Let me know what you liked. And I do read them, and this is actually in reaction to something where they said, well, there's overlap between all of them. So I thought, okay, let's try to bring in some different elements. All right, let's get started. Couple of quick notes before I begin. I just like to welcome everyone. I have 2 moderators with me today, Maria and Dakota. They'll be here to answer any questions that you might have. And one thing that I'm also going to do at the end, I figured out how to do this. If you are kind enough to give me a super chat, I'll try to go through in my dashboard and thank you at the end. That way I won't interrupt the flow. So I also took that as a suggestion from someone. So if you want to show support live, you can do it just as Kathy did right now. And then I will hold off until the end and thank people in real time if I can pull it up, again, technology permitting. So it's right here by the emojis. This allows me to do more readings like I'm currently doing right now. And also, if you happen to watch it on replay, you can click the thanks button here right by share. And one last thing, feel free to follow me on social media. That way you can get reminders. Notifications don't always work on YouTube. I'm finding that out. So it would be advantageous if you followed me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And I will remind you there of upcoming readings, where to vote, where to do things like that. So all my information is here in front of you. And I also pinned a comment up above, and you can click on the social link there so you can get all of that information. All right, I've been talking enough, so let's get into your reading for today. As I was meditating this morning and trying to get everything organized, what came through to me was actually one of my favorite fruits. I guess you would call it that. It's technically a berry when I was looking up some information about it, but it's a pomegranate. So also really cool mythological sort of connotations with this particular fruit. So we're going to talk about pomegranate today and how it relates to you and the messages coming through for the next, I would say not just the week, but again, this portion of it, the channeled messages, can actually go a little bit longer. So when I'm pulling the Celtic crosses or talking about this, whenever you get this message, that's when you hopefully will be able to kind of apply it to your life. So Spirit Totem is pomegranate. They're really healthy, kind of like superfoods, I guess is the word that it was kind of called here, packed with antioxidants and vitamins. I really like them too. I usually buy them already peeled and kind of like in a container when I go to the grocery store. Otherwise, it's a little bit difficult to get into that. There's actually a metaphor with that, though. You know, sometimes things in life that take a little bit of work, a little bit of focus, it's worth the effort. And with pomegranate, you've got to kind of like peel it also off that rind in the center. They're kind of tricky to harvest to get all the sort of fruits out of that, but totally worth it if you've ever done it. It has this sort of cranberry-like flavor. It's like tangy and sweet, and it's crunchy. You're going to be chewing on the actual, the seeds and then the sort of like flesh around the seeds. Really great taste and really good benefits. So if you don't know how to kind of get into all of that, usually at the supermarkets, they'll sell the seeds already harvested from it. They remind us that sometimes good things come in small packages. It looks really big, but it's all these little tiny seeds inside that make up the pomegranate. And also it's reminding you to drink in the little moments, the little successes, every little step along the journey right now. Sometimes we get distracted. We kind of have that big exterior that you would see on the outside of that. And we forget like all of the stuff that's brought us to this moment. So I want you to drink it in and really enjoy and really kind of celebrate where you're at, not just focusing or fixating on how long it's taking you to get where you're trying to go, if that makes sense. Okay. It's a symbol of death, rebirth, and fertility. I did a little bit of research before we started, and it's connected with Persephone and Hades. And Hades used this to kind of pull Persephone into the underworld for a certain part of the year, basically our winter, fall and winter. And her mother, whose name is Demeter, was the goddess of agriculture, fertility, and also seasons. And the reason that seasons came about were because Demeter would always weep when her daughter was spending half of the year in the underworld. And both she and her daughter kind of took the journey down there. So there's this sort of spiritual energy with pomegranate that reminds us that sometimes there is a sacrifice or sort of loss that has to happen before something really good comes forth. Sometimes the journey can be a little bit scary, but there is this renewal energy with this particular sort of this mythology here, because Persephone does come back to the surface every year, and then Demeter celebrates in its spring and summer again. So this represents new cycles in your life, a closing of a door, but also an opening of another door. And if you're somewhere in between the cycles, it reminds you that renewal is possible. So it's very much judgment energy. Death, like I would say, the death card and the judgment card would come through strong with this, but so would the world and so would the Fool. So new beginnings and big expansive moments often require, a little bit of a goodbye too. It's like moving day. I actually remember one of my earliest memories was when I had to move from one of my earliest childhood homes to a place that I lived for like 6 years, and I was in, until the third grade. But I remember sitting on the front porch with my dad, just thinking, wow, this is a new chapter. My memories really started to trigger in around that point too. I can't remember the exact age that I was. Maybe it was like 4 or 5 or something. But I remember the importance of a move. I missed my old place and then started something new. And then the next big move, when I went across the US to the other side, good things happened with that. So I remember punctuated moments where I thought I'd have to leave a home, I'd have to leave friends, and then really great things happened because of those sacrifices or those movements. So you can use the metaphor of moving, and that's kind of what Persephone was doing, going into the underworld and coming back out. So we have moments where sometimes we have to let go of something and we go through a little bit of a winter, but then there's always spring waiting. Okay. So that's my message with this is what's coming through in your springtime? What are you looking forward to? What can you create? And then also celebrating, as we said earlier, why you're in this particular moment. How can you drink in? Even in winter, it's beautiful sometimes, right? Even in fall. Fall is probably one of my favorite seasons. You smell the leaves. You see all of the beautiful colors of the leaves. The air is kind of crisp. It's a really kind of magical season. So yes, things are kind of going to sleep, but what a beautiful falling asleep it is, right? Okay, so it's all about perspective, and it's all about looking at it from a different sort of angle and thinking that there's a new door opening, that this rest period, if you're in it, is there so that you can integrate, so that you can kind of get to ready for all the new things that are coming through. Okay, and basically, yeah, it's like moving day. What's coming through? What's are you going to make peace with it, or are you going to hold on to the past? We'll talk more about that in a second. The other thing that I was shown was something that I think that we were able to do in maybe like Egypt in the past or something, but it was collective empathy was the best way that I could put it into words. But it was basically a form of telepathy, but more than telepathy. So I was shown a vision of the world where we could be in a group of people, and you could communicate and you could try to sort of project what you wanted people to see and hear, but then they actually heard and felt your inner thoughts. So if you were afraid, if you were insecure, if you were sad, they picked up on the undercurrents of what was going on. And then instead of feeling isolated, they could support you and say, I hear you. I'm sorry you're going through that. And it was all mental. I think in the past, we could do more telepathic communication. But what we're working on now in this sort of realm that we're in is feeling with the heart a little bit more and remembering that we've created sort of like this artifice around us that gives us the this sort of feeling or illusion of seclusion, like that it's only us going through it. When I was gifted that moment of being able to tap into collective empathy, which is really appropriate for what we're doing today, I heard all the insecurities, I heard all the good stuff too, and I realized that there's more that we have in common, like a Venn diagram, than we have that separates us from one another. And that's the big message that my guides were giving us, is that we can do that once again in the future, but even before then, we can just check in with one another and say, hey, what's going on? I can tell that you're stressed out a little bit. Rather than judging the action or judging the words, go to the source of it and figure out, why are they there? Okay, I can tell you're angry. What's this about? Is it really about the deadline? Is it really about what I just said? Or is there something else that's kind of causing this? If we could get to the surface, if we could go beneath the surface and get to the core of it, I feel like things would be so much better. So what can you do right now? I think that you can really let others know how you feel and get to know them and get to speak to them a little bit more before jumping to any conclusions. Take time to express yourself and to hold space for others to express themselves as well. Because like I said, once I was able to tap into collective joy and pain, it removed for me the illusion of being alone or feeling something that no one else felt. And the fears faded then. Everything started to be sort of like, okay. And it normalized the fact that we all go through those things in our head, in our heart, in our soul. So I want you to feel like you're going to be able to manage, that you're probably not alone in whatever you're feeling. And that the important thing here is to kind of like express that and talk to someone and connect with them. And if someone seems lost or acting out of sorts, figure out why. It's probably not what the trigger was here in that moment. That was just the thing. That was just the straw that broke the back. It wasn't actually the actual core reason of it. So this is an encouragement not to react to their reaction, but to go to the source of what was causing all of that, to the core, basically. Okay. Let's go into the next piece. This was a very, very specific message that came through. Sorry, Alexa's came through here and just said hello. No, what I was talking about was condensation on the ceiling. Some of you may actually have some issues with humidity problems in your house, so like dampness. Maybe the pipes are kind of like condensing and there's water dripping. There could also be, could just be in a very humid place, and this could cause mold or something. So for some of you, it's an actual picture of what I saw. So I was looking at the ceiling and I could see water droplets. So definitely some of you, if you feel like this might resonate with you, just kind of take a look at the pipes in your house. And if it's very damp and you're kind of worried about that, get a dehumidifier or get an air conditioner or something that can kind of clear some of the moisture from the air, because I saw a trapping of moisture. For the rest of us, this has a different sort of symbolism. This condensation on the ceiling felt like, to me, it's like an emotional block that some of you have, or like a cloud over your head. So for some of you, you might be holding on to pain, frustration. There could also be a really heavy energy in your sort of family or work environment. And to me, when I see water as a symbol from my spirit guides, to me, what it's saying is that needs to come down and kind of be released, just like a rain cloud. So that's already starting to gather. And if you don't do something about it, it's going to fall down anyway. So I would say the sooner you can get into the source of that emotional discomfort or heaviness, the better. I just felt like it was building up. And it's almost like, for some of you, this might be palpable. If you've ever entered a room and you could just sort of like cut the tension, or if it's just a really heavy energy around you, please do something to diffuse that. I think that's going to help you. For the rest of you, this could be very like the Seven of Cups, where there's just a lot going on and it's difficult to focus, and you might be relying more on emotions or feelings rather than what makes sense. So just take some time to center yourself, to meditate, to clear the air, and to also release the emotions. Laugh, cry, whatever you need to do to kind of get back to yourself. Okay. The other thing that came through when I was meditating is that this could be Four of Pentacles, because Four of Pentacles is holding on to something, but I got a feeling like it's going to be released anyway. So if you're holding on to something, it's not going to work. You can't really hold on to a rain cloud. It's got to rain. It has to come out. It has to come through. So when you release this, much like the message that we got with Persephone, Hades, and Demeter, what you're going to be able to allow for something is like a new springtime, a new summer, something bigger, something better. Oftentimes we limit ourselves with the disbelief that something else could come along. We're like, this is it. This is as good as it gets. Well, if you say that, it is. But what if things could get even better? What if this could continue going for a while? Or if you could surprise yourself. So open yourself up to see or experience something even better. All right. So these are your channeled messages for this moment in time. And whenever you get this is very much evergreen. So if you happen to watch this a year later or a week later and it resonates, I channeled this message for you. I want you to take advantage of this moment. I want you to remember that seasons come and go. The Wheel of Fortune can be turned around if it's in the reverse state. So you can always create a season of prosperity. Demeter is associated with harvest. This is a time for you to hopefully be able to tap into some of that work that you've done. And if not, you can replant. That's what a farmer does at the beginning of each new season. They'll till the ground and put some new seeds in. So wherever you're at, whether you're at the harvest or the planting portion, it's okay. Remembering that your fears are not singular to you. A lot of people have fears and insecurities. Let people know what's going on. Also tap in and see where they're at. It's going to help you communicate a little bit better. And then the release is going to be really important. Letting something go, allowing something new to come in. I think all of these are important messages for you. Okay. I'm going to stack up these cards. And if you missed anything, I don't do reviews during the collectives just because I want to keep the pacing a little bit faster. But all of these cards will be posted on my social media platforms, which I showed you a little bit earlier. And again, you can click on the pinned comment above. So if you want to kind of follow me on social media, I would love to have you do that. All right. Just a quick note. I only say it a couple of times, but if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button so you can find out when I do new videos, and hit the like button just once. That will help. Helps other people explore, or helps other people discover this. Let's talk now about, we're going to change the format a little bit. So what I want to do now is take a look at the next 7 days. So we're on the 22nd. So the 22nd to the 29th, basically, We're going to be looking from Sunday to Sunday until the next collective at the energy available to you for the next week. I haven't done weeklies in a few years, so let's just see how this feels. I'm going to pull 7 cards for 7 days, and then I'll see how I feel after that, if I feel like I want to do a blessing and a block, or if I want to pull maybe 1 card for each of the elements, under which, of course, there's like 3 signs. So we'll see how it feels in just a second. We're going to start with pulling 7 cards for the next 7 days. I'm going to get a little water as I do this. I have my cup here, but I forgot to pour the water. So hang tight, and we're going to do that in just a second. In the meantime, I want to say welcome to everybody, and thank you for showing up today. I hope you enjoyed these. Sunday Collect. I've been doing collectives for a while now, but I'm trying to just see how it feels to do a weekly one. And let me know if you like these. Okay, so we're going to focus on 7 days. Let me pull 7 cards. Let's see what the messages are. And then I'm going to possibly pull a few other cards after that. And then we'll get into the 2 big topics for today. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a good weekend so far. A reminder that all of my August videos are already on my YouTube page, and we're about 85% through all of the September ones. I'll be doing Aquarius on Monday and Pisces on Thursday. Those links are already on the main channel, so you can click the reminders if you need them. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, so we've got the middle of the week here and the 2 weekend days here, the 2 Sundays. So let me just pull the camera up and we'll talk about this. And then don't worry, when I do the 2 next, what I was discovering before is as I keep pulling the Celtic crosses, I'm tapping into the general energy anyway. So I feel like this will be more useful for you. Let me know if you like it. All right, let's begin with what's coming through for today. So for those of you watching live, the main focus that I would say here that you need to be working on is taking care of your personal health. We have the 5 of Pentacles here. So 5 of Pentacles can come through when you're running yourself down a little bit. Thankfully, this is a Sunday. Hopefully, most of you don't have to work on a Sunday. I'm working, but I'm only working here in the morning. So take some time off today to just get some sleep, take care of yourself. This is also a card associated with parents in your life or children in your life. So trying to heal any of the energy around those situations would be key. Financially, I would love for you just to kind of get things in order financially. So definitely look at your checkbook, look at what the week ahead is going to be, and do some budgeting. All of that stuff is important. Pay close attention and special attention to your legs, your knees, your hips, all the joints basically below the waist. I want you just to take care of that lower extremity part of your body. A lot of times, we can just we forget how much energy it takes to kind of hold ourselves up here. So do some stretching, do some strengthening, really pay attention to that part of your body, because usually that's where we kind of don't appreciate it until it's too late. So appreciate it in the here and the now. Okay. Let's take a look now at the energy for Monday. We have the King of Wands in reverse. King of Wands reversed is reminding you to keep an open mind. It's a good card for managing and organizing things. So this would be a good day to clean the closets, to clean up the desktop on your computer, to basically get everything sorted out so that you're not kind of trying to catch up later in the week. So definitely focus on organization. And then I would say try not to worry so much about other people's problems. Let people come to you, and allow basically just for your mind to kind of rest a little bit, because sometimes you can be running on all cylinders with this card in reverse, okay? On Tuesday, we have the High Priestess reverse. I would say listen to your intuition this week. You are going to have a little bit of a creative surge towards the beginning of the week. We are in a full moon, I believe, right now. So some of you might be receiving a lot of messages. And I would say over the next 3 days, I wouldn't be surprised if dreams are a little bit more intense, a little bit more vivid than usual. Don't discount what's going on. Do what I do. Write it down. Figure out, how does this relate to me? What do I want to do about it? High Priestess is coming through to try to help you. If you feel like you really should do something, do it. If you feel like you really shouldn't do something, I want you to honor that as well. Common sense and instincts are going to play a big part of Tuesday. So will this sort of creative surge that's coming through. But there's a tendency with these two cards. This is this is intuitive, and this is trying to be very pragmatic or practical. They don't necessarily marry very well. So it would say focus on getting everything together at the beginning so that you can just allow things to flow as the week starts to begin. All right. As now we look at the midpoint of the week, Wednesday here, we have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is a great card to come through at any time. I like that she's sitting here by the waterfall, kind of like filling up that chalice and saying, I'm ready to receive. I think that's the biggest message for all of us, is just to open up and to really be a recipient of the bounty of the energy that wants to come through. The midpoint of the week is looking solid for everyone, okay? I like what I see here, and I think that the only thing to be mindful of whenever we have Queen or King of Cups is your sensitivity is heightened. So there probably wasn't, it wasn't an accident that I was picking up on that collective empathy. You may be the one that's sensitive and able to really feel everything that's going on in the room around you. So try not to take on more than you need to take on. Just be careful and be cautious and be kind to yourself. And I think that's going to be key. But these two next to each other, Tuesday leading into Wednesday, the creative juices are definitely flowing. I think this is more of the channeling, planning, and sort of like getting stuff on paper page or day rather. And this is the day where it actually starts to come into focus. So I feel like by the middle of the week, if you've done things correctly, if you've organized, channeled, and then start to put it into practice, things will be flowing nicely. And yes, it's a great day for love and romance. And for some of you, there could be a water sign coming into your life as well, or you could just be really receptive to love energy as well. As we go to Thursday of next week, of this week rather, and again, we're looking from the 22nd to the 29th, the Knight of Cups is saying, okay, yeah, that was great, but now I need a little bit of time and space. And this is the decompression. This is like when I saw condensation on the roof or on the ceiling. So many of you have been in that process of receiving, and now you need to get rid of some of this. This would be a great day for you to go to the chiropractor, to get to go and get some acupuncture, to do yoga, to sleep in, to do something for you. Let the energy go. Practice some self-care as we go into Thursday so that you can get even again, because the Knight of Cups is still receptive, but when the cup's upside down, he can't kind of like absorb or drink in as much of the opportunity around him as he usually could. And I would want that to kind of be reversed. The other thing here is that when it comes to things that you desire, they could be happening slower than you want. A Knight reverse is usually something that's coming a little bit at a different speed than you would prefer. So be patient with yourself and be patient with others. As we look at Friday, emotionally, physically, spiritually, you may just be a little tapped out. The Strength card is positive, but when it's reversed, you want to take care of yourself. There could also just be a really strong energy, a boss, a mom, or a sister in your life that's kind of popping in and wanting a little bit more, trying to sometimes get you to say or to do something. I like this particular Strength card because it's a meeting of the minds. You notice that the female energy is not dominating the divine masculine, which is normally the case. You would normally see the woman opening up the tiger, lion, alligator, whatever they choose to put on it. In this particular card, that's not the case, but there is a little bit of an imbalance here. So you want to try to find the common ground. Emotionally, again, there could just be something going on with you or the other person that needs to get out there in the air. And once it is, things will be all right. The overall energy of the week is pretty good, I have to say. When we're looking at these cards, we're going to get to Sunday in just a second, but we start off a little bumpy with today, but it's going to be all right because you're here. And then we focus in on like some really strong energy around thoughts and organization, creativity and sensitivity. Then you have to just take care of yourself at the end of the week. We have the Five of Cups wrapping up, bringing us to next Sunday. It looks like when you guys come to me on Sundays, a lot of five energy coming through. I always like to remind folks with the Five of Cups that there's help on the way, or there's love, or there's support there. You don't want to be focusing on what hasn't worked, rather that what can work or who is there, because a lot of times this is, the universe's way of helping us get rid of stuff that we don't need. So I pretty much like what I see. I have to say I'm really impressed with the energy and the overall sort of messages that have come through here for the week ahead. And let me just do it this way so it's a little easier for you to look at. So that's Sunday to Sunday, and that's the week here. And the center point of it is looking fantastic with the Queen of Cups. Everything is really about the Queen of Cups energy. Okay. So for everybody this week, focus on creativity, focus on taking care of yourself. Yes, love can be coming in. For a few of you, this could be the main focus of the week, but I think for the rest of us, it could just be creativity and sensitivity that I was picking up on. Okay, so that's your main weekly forecast and focus there. Now what I want to take a look at is I'm going to try it today and see how it feels. I used to do, let me see if I can do a poll. I could have you guys vote in real time. So let me see. Do you want me to, I can do it. I'm going to do it. All right. So do you want me to do blessings and blocks? Or do you want me to do, let's see, the elements? So that would be like air, water, earth, and fire. So there you go. Let me see if this poll works. Can you guys see it? I don't know if I can see it. So let's see. Let me know if do you see anything here, or did it just go to the community tab? Let me take a look real quick. I think if I don't see it, I'll probably just do the elements here, but let me see comments and membership. I'm trying something new today, so in real time, it may or may not work here. But if you can see it, let me know if you can see the poll. And if not, I'm just gonna make an executive decision and move forward on it. Let's see. Yeah, because I'm not seeing anything on the community tab. So, oh, there we go. Okay, so it's we're getting a bunch of people voting. That's cool. Blessings and blocks. Nice. All right. All right, looks like it's blessings and blocks. I don't know why we did yes and no's, but that's okay. So yes would be blessings, and just don't focus on the no and elements. Okay, so we're gonna do blessings and blocks. All right, I'm gonna end the poll. That was cool. All right, I'll figure it out a little bit better next time. All right, so blessings and blocks today, and then maybe next week I'll try the elements. Okay, so blessings and blocks 1, and let's see what's coming through. I've never tried that feature. That was fun. Thank you, everybody, for voting in real time. I'm trying to allow you to have some impact on what I do here. All right, so we're going to use the same deck here and just shuffle things up a little bit. Blessing for the week, block for the week. All right, 9 of Pentacles and 7 of Pentacles. It's so interesting because I just talked about this in the last reading that I did for Capricorn, these exact 2 cards. So I know what to talk about today for everybody. All right, so the blessing of the week is great. This is basically showing me that where you're headed is towards abundance, right? And I'm looking at her bird here. If it's a hawk or something. Usually it's a peacock as well, which I talked about this week too. The 9 of Pentacles, these are the 2 gardeners in tarot. It's interesting that there are gardeners in tarot. So with the 9 of Pentacles, you would normally see a woman with the bush behind her, with a lavish bird on her shoulder, feeling the luxury, feeling the abundance, feeling the independence as well. So for some of you, it could just be the feeling of independence this week that's setting in. You may not be at the 9 of Pentacles moment, but you feel in this particular moment in time, you know what, I can get there. I have what it takes. And I really don't want everybody's input. I want to do this on my own. So you might be feeling this sort of rebellious or independent surge coming through, and it feels like it's heading in the right direction here. You can do it. You do have everything that it takes. So I'm encouraging you to believe in yourself. That's the blessing this week, that something comes up and you're forced to do it, you realize you can do it. It's sort of like if, mom or dad ever came home late and you had to make dinner, you realize I actually can do it. Or if a teacher didn't show up and they always helped you with something and then you had to kind of like do it yourself, you realize you had that energy within you. So I think there's a discovery of independence and self-sufficiency. The one thing that you have to be cognizant of on the 9 of Pentacles is patience, because usually there's a little snail on the bottom there that would show that you need to, just take your time. Slow and steady wins the race here, and you'll eventually get what you're looking for, but not if you rush it. All right, the other gardener, this is the block for some of you. 7 of Pentacles is healing. Sometimes we try to rush the healing. And you see this person reaching almost further than they need to or maybe can in this moment. I want us to reach for the stars. I think that's good. I think sometimes, though, we have to ground ourselves in how much we can we can kind of chew at any particular moment. So just like if you're eating a sandwich, you don't want to try to, digest the whole thing at once. There is timing that's associated with both of these. This one is patience. This one is impatience. Normally on this card, you would see someone that's kind of like sitting there with a shovel in tow, thinking, why is it taking so long? This person realizes that everything happened in the timing that it needed to. So your blessing this week can just basically be understanding that the block or the timing that I picked up on with that Knight card reversed is basically to help you appreciate or open up some doors or some windows. Recovery is at hand no matter what. If you don't have what you want, if you're having problems with your finances, problems with your health, and it's taking longer to recover in either of these areas, if there's a relationship issue and it's taking longer than you thought to recover, it's okay, and it still can happen. But both parties in that case have to kind of put in the same energy, and you have to really take care of you. Heal yourself, focus on yourself, be patient with yourself and be patient with others, and I think you're going to be okay. Ultimately, we're on the good side of the pentacles with either of these. You're not on the limited area. We don't have a 2 where you're trying to juggle things. We don't have a 4 where you're holding on. We don't have a 5 where you're barely breaking even. We don't even have a 6 where you have to really make clear choices. We have 2 cards here showing me that growth and abundance are en route, but impatience is what's holding you back. So lean into the patience, lean into the knowledge that you can do it. Don't overstretch. Like a lot of times, 7 of Pentacles is a test that comes through. And if we fail, it's because we think that we've learned everything, but we haven't, or we just don't care and we do it anyway. So have self-control, have trust, and don't overstretch yourself. Don't overcommit yourself. I think you're going to be okay then. And that's the blessing and the block for this week. Okay. And then maybe next week, or if I have time, I can look at elements later, but I think I'll just switch it up. So next week we'll do elements. And I know a lot of times people want me to do sign by sign. So I'll experiment with that next week. And then we'll decide which one you like more. Maybe I'll just alternate on Sundays. Again, I want these to be flexible. A lot of times I get into a very predictable sort of sequence. So I'm trying to keep this a little bit more fluid and more fun for everybody that shows up. Okay, let's focus on your first big question. It was all about regaining focus and finding the big picture. So as I'm thinking about what does this mean? The big picture to me, a lot of times people come to me and will ask, like, how do I find my soul purpose? How do I get back on track, right? And what am I going to be able to do to sort of like just be my best or get out of my way? So what we're going to do today is take a look at what you can do to regain that focus. To get the big picture, okay? So let's take a look, all right? I see a lot of people still asking for elements. I think we're gonna hold that off until next week because I wanna try to really focus on these 2 big questions, and then I'll try the elements next week. It's a reason to tune in and see how that goes, okay? All right, so regaining focus. And we'll see how much time I have left. I'm experimenting with a new format today, and so let's just be patient and see how it goes. Like I said, thank you to everybody collectively that's giving back. I'm going to try to say thanks at the very end. So if you've given a contribution, just hold out until the show is over, and I will. I'll thank you guys personally. That way you can stick around if you want to. Okay, so let's take a look at regaining focus and what's the big picture. And this is probably going to reveal maybe where some blocks happened in your life as well. If anyone wants to know, I know my moderators get questions. This was the last deck that I used was the Tarot of the St. Croix. And then I'm going to be using the Afro Goddess one now. Sorry, I got to just find a place to put this down. All right, let's take a look and see what's coming through. Big picture. Regaining focus. This will also show us where our focus may be missing. Previous messages were for the week ahead. This is kind of evergreen. This could be appropriate for whenever you see it. Most of my readings when I'm looking at a Celtic cross can be 6 to 8 weeks. Queen of Cups came through again. Very interesting. Oops. The 8 of Wands wanted to literally fly off the desk. All right, you got some great energy here. So let's Let's take this apart a little bit and see what's going through it. I am also going to expand this. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I'm going to expand this to include also like how this touches elements of your life, health, wealth, love, and destiny. So again, this is where we're going to get some of the general forecast interspersed between the next 2 readings. I'll probably do past, present, and future influences in the next one. All right, this is an encouragement, first of all, that you already have what it takes to be successful. It says, make the grade with flying colors, but it's the little caption underneath it that's really important. It says, remember, you signed up for this. That's such a kind of, that's the universe being not so subtle. Relationships that are really tricky, oftentimes parental relationships, sibling relationships, boss and coworker relationships tend to be those sort of karmic ones that we did sign up for and we forgot it. And we're like, why is this person driving me crazy? There's some karmic energy that you can release there. But there's also this encouragement that you're gonna get through this in like an amazing fashion. So I want you to trust that you have the capacity to ace this test, to get the best possible grade. You're gonna get through it this time with, like they said, pass it with flying colors. So what I really see with that message is there is a person in front of you right now that could be blocking you from regaining your focus. This karmic relationship, you need to release the karma there first. So one of the blocks that's taking away the focus from the big picture is a karmic relationship or a task that you have to finish. So you might be in a job that you hate, and this is a chance for you to figure out, well, why am I continuing to be here? Am I trying to prove something to myself? Do I feel obligated to that person? Is it because other people around me aren't pulling the same sort of weight? What can I do to liberate myself from the feeling that I'm the only one that can do this and I have to do this? If there's a relationship in your life and you're tired of being around that person, you always have a choice to stay or to go. And this is helping you figure out the plan for liberation. It doesn't always happen in an instant. It took a while to get where you're at. It can take a while to get out of it. Remember the snail and the 9 of Pentacles. So you're going to figure out, you're going to map it out. And remember, when we looked at the weekly forecast, Monday had the King of Wands, I think it was, whatever, reversed. So that's your chance to really figure out the sort of specifics. You could do the financials today. You could figure out like big picture on Monday and then start to just tune in. The rest of the week was very sensitive and very kind of lots of cups, lots of high priestess energy, you know, with exception to Friday. So I would say like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you have a chance to really kind of like tap into that. For those of you that watch this later, like next month or something, I would say what I just want you to focus on is taking a look at stuff, and even in the week ahead, making some plans, making some strides to figure out, how can I get out of this? Why am I in this? What am I learning from this person? Is there anything I could have done better? All of the above. Okay. Let's take a look at your center card, which is kind of the nucleus here. What's it all about? Some of you are very critical on yourself. You are outspoken, though. There's this sort of outspoken energy and this ability to kind of like just cut to the point. So when it comes to getting your focus back, I think one of the important things is to communicate and to take some actions and just to kind of like really get real with yourself. The reason that we got this, you know, get real card is that we have the 7 of Swords on top of it. So this is an accountability message. A lot of times what will happen is we can sometimes try to trick ourselves or tell ourselves a little white lie saying, oh, this won't matter, I'll do it another day or whatever. And this is basically the universe putting the spotlight on that and saying, are you sure Is this really what you want? It's also an accountability message for people around you. If there's been a boss, a coworker, a loved one in your life that has promised something, a raise, a promotion, maybe a proposal, if it's going to be like someone that you love, but they're not coming through, they're holding back, they're falling short, then this is when you just kind of get straight to the point and say, this isn't what I was looking for. This isn't what we signed up for. Either something has to change or I'm going to move on. So it's getting real with yourself and getting real with others. And that is another sort of potential, not block, but at the core of it is this necessary action on your part. And that flashlight or the spotlight that we see here, put the spotlight on what isn't working and fix that first before you can kind of move on. Many of you karmically, to regain focus, one of the important things that you have to realize is you have the capacity to take control and ownership. You always have. It's sometimes easier to let someone else do the work because then the accountability sits with them, but you are fine. You're going to be fine with this. I feel like if anybody in your life has told you that you can't do it, you won't do it, you shouldn't do it, you're basically going to turn that wheel in the chariot and say, you know what? Yes, I can. Yes, I will. And this is how I'm going to do it. So this is just encouraging you to find the voice and the vision and then basically put the pedal to the metal and see something happen. Okay. All right. Now we're starting to see who you are here a little bit with the Queen of Wands. Really great pragmatic energy. Also the most magic of the queens, I believe, of all the different 4 queens, because she can make something out of nothing. She's usually in a desert, but she has those lovely flowers growing around her, the sunflowers. She always has the black cat, which is her intuition, the high priestess energy. And she's strong, headstrong. So for many of you, you're finding maybe later in life, maybe younger if you're lucky, but for those of you that are discovering this a little bit later, you're stronger than you think. You could be a boss if you want to. You can be bossy. You might like telling people what to do or what's on your mind. It may not have always come natural, but you have leadership capacity. How you lead is up to you. I was talking about telling people what to do, but the Queen of Wands actually shows people what to do. The Queen of Swords would tell you. The Queen of Wands would basically, she just kind of embodies that gravitas, that energy. If you've ever met someone that's sort of like very powerful, when they come into the room, people just sort of pull back a little bit. That's the Queen of Wands energy. So you have that capacity, but you have to embody it as well. And I'm literally talking about holding it in your posture, because there's a difference between this and between this. You take me more seriously, and there's a different sort of energy if I hold myself up a little bit. When I do that, I have to even like put the camera up because it adds height, it adds sort of like strength to you. So think about body language right now, and you have this capacity to lead if you want to. So I see first and foremost leadership coming through, leadership and control, not being afraid to take control, because you have inherent leadership possibilities if you want to lean into them. Okay. So think about that. Now we have the Queen of Swords, and this is the hard part for you. This is what's in your head space. So for some of you, you're thinking things like, literally what my guides are telling me is like, I don't measure up. That was the word that they said. That's only, who are you trying to measure up to? Who told you that? Because it doesn't come through as your dialogue. So what I want you to do instead is to just be the Queen of Swords upright, which is powerful, strong, communicative, speaks in actionable things, like actionable words, uses verbs. So just be strong and outspoken. Don't be so self-critical, and definitely don't be critical of others unnecessarily. You have the leadership chops, but what I'm seeing for some reason is overly critical energy coming through that probably was imprinted from childhood or from other people around you, environment, or from youth. And so the biggest challenge right now is to not tune into the critical nature too much, because leadership and good ideas, I see that. That's what's coming through really loud and really strong and really clear. But there's some confusion or some karmic garbage there that is coming through where you doubt yourself. So I'm going to hopefully help you get through that today. One of the challenges for many of you right now is just getting the work done. It's hard to get motivated. 5 of Wands has a sort of unspoken energy around, why am I doing this? How do I get excited about it? What I like about this particular card is you're not alone. We see a whole sort of group or tribe of people there that are ready for action. So finding your spiritual tribe, finding your spiritual family is one of the things that can help you. And also tapping into, what did I call it earlier? Like collective empathy. I think that was it. So making sure that everybody can kind of get on the same page, that you're feeling everybody's feeling what's going on with one another, so that nobody's feeling pushed over, no one's feeling brushed to the side, no one's getting lost. Believe it or not, right next to it in the environment, this is a communal card. It's not always illustrated as such, but this sort of javelin thrower here with the 8 of Wands, this is the elevated version of this. This is saying, I can do all of this. I'm not going to get lost in the shuffle, and I have a lot of help around me. And things are going to start to pick up for you. So when you start to lean on others, when you start to lean into your leadership capacity, then we start to see that you're empowered. This is one of the first, well, not the first, but this is one of the more empowered cards here in the minor arcana. So I like that. You're going to be able to make this work. You may have to, however, lead others, because the 5 of Wands is often a lot of followers. The 8 of Wands would be the beginning of leadership. And you standing out of that crowd. That's why there's a person and everyone else is a wand in this one. So this is your chance to kind of stand out. And how does that make you feel? Are you ready for that? We have a star card in a moment. I'll talk about that. But that's one of the things that I would say would be important, is making peace with standing out and kind of like having people see you. We have the Goddess of Cups here coming through. Really great energy. Second time we've seen the Queen of Cups, basically, because she showed up in the middle, right? And Wednesday's energy. So what I would say, we're getting a lot of the same cards coming through from the weekly as we're seeing now here in this sort of projected for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So I feel good about it. I feel like we're tapping into the same energy. You've got to feel what you're doing. That's how the Queen of Cups is powerful. If she feels it, if she believes it, and if she can convey those emotions to others, that's when things just start to happen, and they happen fast. And I think you have that capacity to see rapid movement, but it comes from the heart. So if you don't believe in what you're doing, if you don't feel it anymore, I really want you to get back into something that's a lot more creative. So if I were coaching you one-on-one, and I kind of am, it's, I'm talking to you, there's a lot of you out there, but the collective you, what I would say is, what truly makes your heart sing? I don't care if you're in your head thinking like, how do I make money with this? What will my, partner or family or whomever think? I want you to really go into your head and your heart and your soul and think, what makes me happy? And how can I do more of that? And is there a way that I could create abundance around what makes me happy, that other people would like that? And that's how great businesses get started. It all starts with an idea. And then, you kind of start to pull things around that, investment, leadership, people that work on it, people that execute it. So I want you to kind of think about that. We saw this month leadership playing a really important role for you with the Queen of Wands. We see communication being the challenge for some of you because of how you've been maybe spoken to or things that you've internalized. So I want you to embrace your communication skills. You already have the leadership skills, and then really work at gelling with the people around you. But leadership is coming through the strongest. You've got 3 queens, Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups. If that's not a leader, I don't know what is. You just may be a little bit shy about taking that leadership role. Leadership, by the way, doesn't have to be CEO. This can be just owning, you're going to be the stronger person in the relationship. You might be a mom. You might be taking the lead in some sort of like organization. You might also just be speaking up more. Just active energy. Okay, it's not always, you don't have to always be the boss, but you are someone that people are looking up to. And I know that because when I look at possibilities, we have the star card, which is my favorite card, I think, almost in any deck, because it's showing that you're connecting to your true spiritual path. And when you are, you're unstoppable. I think what is so powerful with authenticity is that it's believable. When you can look at 2 actors with the same amount of years of experience, maybe even play the same role, maybe something like Hamlet or whatever. And then you look at those 2 performances, and one really shines because they're bringing some of themselves to the equation. It's like, I believe this, I know this, or I live this. So when people look at you, just like you see singers or actors or everyday people just embody their power, their truth, you want to be around that because that's real. The other thing, it's a little bit it's falling flat. So I don't care what it is that you're supposed to be doing, but when you can start to sit into that energy or lean into that, great things will happen. For many of you that are interested in something like entertainment or taking a leadership position, the star card is saying you're in the right place for that. For the rest of you, this can also be highly spiritual. So working with healing modalities like Reiki, like yoga, acupuncture, anything like that, also coming through with that because you're channeling spirit energy. The big thing here, some of you are ready to move and to move on and to move away from something. We have a world card reverse, which is showing an overdue or sort of like a latent energy of wanting to expand. And ultimately, the star card leads into this expansion, which means more people are ready and willing to accept. This can be publication, by the way. So for those of you that have been thinking of writing a curriculum, writing a book, releasing an application that you've written, there's different ways of writing and composing stuff. So it could be music, it could be computer code, it could be writing a book. We have to look at this broader. It's not everyone's a writer, but there's something that I feel like you could do that you could share with someone else. So either leading or creating and then distributing. That feels to me like it's supposed to be part of the current energy for the people that are watching this. So what could you give back to the world? What could you lead insofar as, like, whether it's a leadership position in a church, an organization, a special interest, whatever it is, it feels like you could make a difference, put a thumbprint on the world before you go into the other realm. So think about what that is. At the end of your days, when you're sitting there looking back at your life, how's it gonna feel? Will you have any regrets, or will you feel like I tried everything? I did some things great, I did some things not so great, but I have no regrets. I want to get you to that no regrets portion. So try it. You might surprise yourself, okay? And remember, you're going to make the grade with flying colors. You signed up for all of this, including showing up today and receiving these messages. All right, let me take a drink of water, and then we're going to expand this and see specifically in health, wealth, love, and destiny, what's happening to either help you get that focus or could be taking you off of that. All right, let's look at your health card. I feel like many of us are in this cave, right? It's been a rough year, and a lot of us have been isolated. And so one of the important things for you is coming out of that cave. This particular card, I was actually covering it up with my finger, is a little tiny helping hand, right there saying, hey, are you ready to receive? So our home is our sanctuary. It is our temple, but it can sometimes also be limiting us and cutting us off and hermiting us a little bit. So I like what's going on here, which is internal discovery. This is very much the Hermit card. But there does come a point where you need to integrate. And so finding a way to remove the isolation, because what I was given in my dreams last night, which I focused on this morning to kind of pick it apart a little bit and understand, was collective empathy. So your experience is important to share. I feel like that's the biggest piece, actually. Share who you are, where you are, what's going on. Your story matters, whether it's just talking to someone or there's something else that you're going to do with this creatively, because we got a lot of creative cards. Okay. So what's your story and how can you tell it? And are you also picking up on other people's stories around you? That's the main message. For you will feel healthier and happier when you get out of this cave. Or, it's safe, but it's also limiting. Other messages around, I'm not going to look at this as a traditional one, but I'm going to say, like, how can walking your path make you healthier and happier? Because I believe that's the energy that would come through with health in this particular spread. Because it's authentic, because it's real, because like the condensation that I saw on the ceiling falls. You're no longer, there's no roof anymore. You're just exposed. You're you. And people either take it or leave it. And I think that's the most important thing that I can kind of give you for health and happiness right now, is that if you can just walk into your truth. Even here in the Seven of Swords, the universe wants you to be truthful and walk into that truth. Cut your losses, walk away from the past, be honest with yourself. And then the sooner you do that, the sooner there's a real star, not just a light bulb around you, and you are that star. Okay. So don't hold back. Don't hide anything. I feel like it's really important to just be real. Okay. Let's look at career, which is coming up here in a moment here. So it is about moving on, but you don't have to burn the bridge. You can cross the bridge. It says it's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. You may actually be the person building the bridge or repairing the bridge between you and between others. This is true for people that you care about and the resources in your life. So we're talking about, again, finding your big picture. You might decide to reconnect with someone because you've regained some insight, or you've gained insight that helps you understand, like, it wasn't really all about that. And I actually want to kind of like just mend it a little bit so that in the future, as I meet other people, I'm not repeating that. I want to release some karma between me and between that other person. So you may decide to repair a bridge. You also may be the one that opens up an opportunity because you can see how two people might work together or how you and someone else might partner. So you could be creating it. Either way, you're not destroying a bridge. You're deciding, do I want to mend an old bridge or do I want to build a new bridge? This is creatively, professionally, and with your resources. You are a leader this month, one way, shape, or form, and this is one of the ways that you can do it, okay? The releasing can happen, but again, I feel like you don't have to like explode a bridge. So however you handle things this month, it's going to be clear, it's going to be free flowing, there's not going to be any bad water, water into the bridge, bad blood rather. It's fine, everything's flowing, okay? So I like that. Let me see if there's any other messages with respect to wealth. I think the main thing this month is it's important for you not to, again, overpromise or overdeliver. The Seven of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles are very similar. They're sisters, basically, because Seven of Swords, we don't look at everything that we need to look at sometimes. And the Seven of Pentacles, we just sometimes want to make people happy. But in doing so, then we lead into the Seven of Swords because we say we can do something that we can't do. So I would say do less, but do it better. Something that I just talked to Capricorn, I think, about. I was either Cap or Sagittarius. But I think it's really important to do what you can do really well and either ask for help if more is expected or push it until next week, next month, next year, and really give it your all. And that's going to be the most important message when it comes to resource management. Let's look at relationships in respect to who can help you, who might be holding you back. What's the karmic thing that's coming through with the big picture? I got to put my glasses on for this one. It says, the heart of the matter, there is more going on than meets the eye, which is what I was talking about. Recognize what this is all about. So this is the collective empathy. You may think you know what's going on with someone, but you don't really. You may think you know what's going on with you, but maybe that you're so busy that you haven't given yourself a time to decompress, right? And this is your time to really, really decompress and take care of it. So slow down and get to know, get to understand, talk a little bit, feel even just what you need to feel yourself. Because so often nowadays we try to fast forward into the next big thing. And if we keep doing that, we never truly figure it all out. Okay, so slow it down. I think that's going to be really important. And now looking at your destiny card, this is kind of what we've been building up to. So we have the porcupine here, and it says time for the beginner mind. So this has kind of got some fool energy. And the interesting thing here is sometimes we protect ourselves almost too much when we go into a new path. Porcupines, of course, throw up all of those little, what are they? It's almost like those little, what are they called? Barbs, that's it. When they get really nervous. And so what I want you to try not to do is to kind of do that and make it difficult for people to reach in and say hello. You have the capacity to protect yourself, but sometimes we can overdo it. And I think for you, there's so much to like, so much to love, so much to tap into, that if you go and protect yourself too much, you can't expand the way you need to. So get some good people around you that you trust. Stay open and believe that there are some good people out there. There's always going to be one or two that are less than ideal, but what I see for you is movement, expansion, moving on, and sharing your message. So to get to let's kind of like bring this all together. I think the big thing for you to have the big picture here is I see latent or hidden leadership skills that want to surface. I see the capacity to get people to rally around you. So even if you don't think you're a leader, you have the capacity to maybe even support a leader. So for some of you, that could include like being an administrative assistant or a second in command or a middle manager or something like that. But you could be the one that gets everybody else on track. And there's still organizational leadership qualities with that. Many of you have a story that's compelling. You have an experience that's compelling. And if you can share that or impart that on others, teach it even, then people will learn from that. And like it or not, there's this energy of expansion and visibility that wants to come through. It feels like some of you are pulling back from how far this might take you, but at the very least, I want you to kind of step a little bit closer to this, a little bit closer to just being yourself and being true. Okay. Really great stuff for you, actually. And, the other thing that I'm seeing is some of you are natural healers. I'm not surprised at this because this is a mending and a building bridge card. We don't see anything destructive in it. So what I see that you're able to do is also be a connective thread. All of this shows leadership and intuitive capabilities, but some of you are going to express the leadership differently, right? Like I said, we don't all have to be the boss, but you have great insights. And I guess my homework assignment for you, the kind of like question that you can meditate on is, how do I lead? How can I be less critical of myself because those critical energies came through? And what do I want to do? How do I want to help others? Because there is this sort of nurturing or not just leadership, but there's this sort of like mending energy that comes through with that as well. All right. So that's the big picture. You are a leader. You have a good story to tell, and you have the capacity to get people to follow you. Do you want to do it? I hope you do. And don't let one karmic relationship hold you back, for sure. Don't let one experience hold you back. Don't let this fear of can I do it hold you back. All right. Those are your main messages when we're looking at that first question. I hope it answered the main questions that you might have in respect to that. If not, give this some time. It takes time to sometimes manifest. Okay. So let me just clear the cards in front of me, and then we're going to move along to your career forecast and see what's coming through for that. Maybe for this, we'll see if I have time at the end, because this is a little bit more tangible, and I think it might relate to what we did earlier. I might pull the elements for this. We'll see. Let me look. I'll keep an eye on the clock because we're into the next hour, so I want to be mindful of the time. But if not, like I said, we'll do elements next week. All right, let me think of a deck that I want to use for this one. Okay, I'm going to use this divine deck here. All right, so let's see what's coming through for career and finances, how we can get out of our way, what we need to focus on, etc. We're going to do different. I want to save a little time on this, so I'll do maybe past, present, future if I feel like I need it. If not, I might do elements. So let's just see. I get a lot of questions about the decks that I use. You can just go to my website and everything is listed there. All the main tarot decks, it's under decks that I use, and my moderators have that link. So rather than asking them, you can just click on that and then you can identify them all by site if you need to. All right, I'm just going to stick with, actually, no, I'm going to use, let's see, we'll do this for past, present, future. Okay, so let's take a look now at what's coming through here for your career and financial outlook. Okay, so center card, we have, actually I want to do one more. Let me pull a catalyst for this one too, just because I like to see what can get us started on this path. All right, stop worrying is the first card. So the catalyst when we're looking at this is what can allow you to either like step into or step away from something. Literally, it's reverse, which would be don't worry. I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. True. I think what you want to focus on is why am I worried and what am I worried about? And then you can educate yourself on the source of that. I think that's always more powerful. So stop worrying. We're reading the information today, so that hopefully that will help you. The center of the deck. Surprise, surprise. This happens whenever I'm reading kind of similar energy for similar people. What do we have? But the Nine of Pentacles. we just talked about the power of the Nine of Pentacles, which is abundance, which is independence, which is patience to get to that point of abundance and independence. And I think that for you, I'm feeling really good stuff for you, actually. All right. So if nobody before has given you a chance to show that you're self-sufficient, this card is saying loud and clear that you very much are self-sufficient. Okay. You very much have what it takes to do something. So I want you to, this kind of nicely fits. Thank you so much for voting on these two together, because I see the relationship between them now. So my channel members and Patreon supporters chose these today. But what I was saying here with your sort of purpose, which we were talking on the big picture, and the career outlook, this goes hand in hand. Some of you have been denied. We have the death card here. You've been denied the opportunity to take care of yourself because other people don't believe in the potential for you to do that. So what you want to do this month is to step away from any situation where that person's afraid of seeing you grow. We have the death card here, and the death card is change. And there's a little bit of a fearful image here, but it's not as scary as it seems. It's just a chance for you to do something else. So sometimes a boss doesn't want to see you grow because they don't want to lose you. They don't want you to get transferred or move on. Sometimes a lover doesn't want to see you grow because they are afraid that they are less than, or they can't exist in that sort of star energy that we saw before. That's not true. I talked before about astronomy, that there's more double and triple star systems out there than there are single ones like ours. So there's room for more than one star. And so the only thing holding you back is maybe people's lack of imagination or your own fear that you can't do it. So don't be afraid here. It's time for a change. Just like we're experimenting with stuff today. Change is fun, right? I have more energy when I do something different. Feels good, feels a little bit like something's on the line. So I think you have to sometimes feel a sense of, will it work? Will it not work? And then just move with it. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. It's not the end of the day. It's not the end of the world, I should say. All right. The same card, I believe, almost in the same position. Usually I have a photographic memory, but I can't remember on this because we've been pulling so many cards. But we have the Chariot card now, also reversed. And with this one, I kind of like that we see the fish pulling this chariot forward. And trust your heart. Your passion can move you forward. Some of you may have Pisces placements. I want you to tune into your Piscean placements and figure out how you can maximize that as well, because that's a really powerful energy for just trusting and going with the gut and allowing yourself to be playful, to be intuitive. But we can all take a note from that, just to have a little bit of fun and to let our heart guide the way, okay? Because that's really what's leading this chariot, is emotion. Don't let the fear, the anxiety, or the frustration lead that chariot amok, though. Try to sort of let the positive energies of the heart space pull you in the right direction. Guess what? It's time for moving, for expansion. Second time we got this. It was in the outcome before. So hopefully, since I'm reading this second, you've already made the necessary changes. We have the World card. I like this World card because it contains love in it as well. So we had passion. I was just talking about that. Now we actually see that extension of passion and love. So it's really important for you to, kind of like I was talking about moving day, I got excited about the potential. For me, I remember I was sitting on the porch. My dad was talking to me. We were looking at a tree in front of me, and we were just kind of talking about, like, he framed it up like this is going to be an exciting new cycle. When we moved, it was my mom who helped me close the cycle, where we said goodbye to all my favorite places. So kudos to my two parents for helping open and close a door really nicely for me. For you, I want you to think of the same thing with the world, because after the world is the fool, and you need to be able to sort of like embrace that. So moving up, moving on, moving out, and celebrating and mourning whatever you need to do. I think that's really important right now with your career. But if you're stuck, move on. This is definitely, it can be a stagnation card. Transformation is necessary. You've done the requisite work. You're probably, some of you, overqualified for what you need, and it's time. Some of you could be really frustrated because that same qualification, you might be having a hard time. So let's say you've spent many years in one job, but that job doesn't exist, or the industry has changed and you're trying to get another job, but people look at that and think you have too much for this or not enough of this. Keep pushing. You definitely we'll be able to have a breakthrough here. It could take a couple months though. We have the Two of Wands here, Janus actually coming through. The card was reversed, but we have Janus as well, which is January. Janus is the two-headed god looking at ends and beginnings. And actually in my book, I cast Death and Janus as the same character because they are. Who else but the nexus of ends and beginnings would Janus be and Death be? Because I believe death helps us enter and leave our bodies. So this is the same thing. So for some of you, we're looking at this. So we're right now in August, but it's almost September. So September, October, November, December, 4 months of rapid change and movement, with January, the 5-month point, being when something big happens. So you're on this new journey with the sort of zenith happening right around that period of time. You need to kind of keep an open eye to both directions and keep building toward that. But I'm excited about that. I feel like for some of you, it could happen much faster. Like we actually have the world here in recent past, so it could happen like this. But if you're holding back, the universe is going to make it happen one way, shape, or form. Death card crossing the center can very much be like the Tower, where the universe will just bring to a close something. So, it could be a merger, it could be an ending, it could be, a selling of a building that you've been living in for a while and you have to move out. So I would get ahead of that. If you feel this sort of urge inside that you have to take a different path, go back to school, move, travel, whatever it is that you need to do, it's coming. So do it before January. Find a way to get this going, because you have like 5 months to get on track. Okay, there you go. Queen of Cups, she's coming through again. We have the Queen of Cups reversed. I just want you to be able to give yourself permission, I should say, to be happy. Sometimes we think that work means sacrifice. I'm going to do this because my mom and dad expected it, because everyone in my family has done this, because my partner wants me to do it, because my family depends upon me, because society expects it of me, because I said I was going to do it when I was 8 years old, and now I feel like I'm trapped in this. You write your own script. And if you're not happy, like I said before, it doesn't have to happen overnight. You don't want to do anything irresponsible, especially if you do have people depending on you. But you don't have to be unhappy your whole life. That's not what we signed up for. That wasn't when I had this card here that said, you're gonna make the grade with flying colors. It wasn't to be miserable. It was to try new things, right? So you can try something new and you can do it. And that's basically the validation that I'm giving you here, if you want it. You don't have to be unhappy to be good at something, okay? I like to remind people of in the 80s, there was all of these sort of like aerobics, jazz, no, it was aerobics mostly, but they were like, no pain, no gain, feel the burn and all this stuff. Years later, they found out that all that pain was actually your body saying, stop it, this hurts and you're hurting me. So no pain, no pain. I feel like there always is a little bit of struggle and there's a little bit of work that helps us get to the next point, but we don't have to feel pain unnecessarily. And you don't have to feel pain all of the time. It's not supposed to be a constant. So I want there to be more joy and more satisfaction on your career path, and that's definitely coming through here. Page of Coins, an offer is coming through. If you've been unemployed, if you've been looking, I see an opportunity coming. The thing is it what you expected? Are you keeping an open mind? Are you putting yourself into consideration for different types of jobs? I should say up for consideration, because there could be a missed opportunity with Janus upside down there. So I do see opportunities. They may or may not be what you want. You ultimately get to decide what you want to do, right? So the other thing here is that you may decide to invest in yourself. This is showing self and soul and personal development. So I want you to kind of look and think, what do I want for me? What am I ready for? What do I want to do next? So really take a moment to invest in oneself, in yourself, okay? Environmentally, I'm getting this we got the Queen before, now we have the King. I definitely see some of you have strict parents or relatives. So someone around you, it's hard to see here, but it's the King of Swords. So King of Swords in reverse. It's almost like you're clipping the wings that we see on this mythic animal here. So I would say what you want to be focusing on right now is spreading your wings, and anyone that's trying to clip your wings isn't really an advocate for you. So now, also what I see with this is your voice carries. So do something great with that keeps coming through in life purpose and also in career. But I do see an opportunity on the horizon. I see one that needs to end right now, something that needs to end. And then for many of you, gosh, I have 2 move cards. So we have the 10 of Wands and we have the World. So together, that's a strong case for moving. For some of you, this could be just deciding to do some, you could do telework. You could be located in one place and working in another. So if you're looking for a new job, I want you to consider applying in different provinces, states, or countries than you normally would, and you might be able to do remote work just fine. You're building on the experience from the past. So we see here the skull here. A lot of times there's a sort of ceremonial burial that happens where you put that beneath the tree, you know, the ashes or the remains. So when I look at this, this is a reincarnation energy, just like the pomegranate where we were talking about Demeter and Persephone. So this is a new season. So from something where you felt like you failed or didn't work, there's a lot of abundance that's coming through. The only thing that I think is really important for you right now is to feel like you don't have to do all of this alone. The 10 of Wands reversed is showing me that many of you are shouldering an unnecessary burden, or sometimes fear the change coming through in your life because it feels like so much. Like, where do I get started? Remember, just one step at a time. And for many of you, you have plenty of time. I saw up until January even. So I think we're so used to immediate gratification that some people may hear that and think, oh my gosh, that's a long time. It's going to go much faster than you think. I'm feeling a little bit of an activation right here in my solar plexus. So I think some of you, I want you to focus on really trusting yourself. And if there's power dynamics in your life, I do feel like that could be a parent. Usually it's a mom when I feel it in my solar plexus. I want you to focus on releasing that energy, releasing the need to please, releasing the need to control or be controlled, and just sort of allowing yourself to grow. All right. Finally, we have a perspective card here with the 4 of Cups. And the 4 of Cups is a hidden blessing. There's something already coming through. And again, the choice is yours. So you get to be discerning. So look at it from all angles, look at it from all sides and decide, does this fit for me? And if it doesn't, you don't have to take it. But I already see that 1 or 2 doorways have started to open up for many of you. Let's look at the important piece here, past, present, and future influences, which are playing a big role for career and finance right now. By the way, I think we got 2 financial cards here, 9 of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. It's growth. This is definitely growth from one to the other. So if you are in a place of lack or feel like you're stuck, you may be, but you're not going to continue to be stuck unless you allow yourself. So I see growth happening. The 9 of Pentacles can sometimes be a fiercely independent card, to a fault sometimes, to the point that you may receive a helping hand, but you say no to it. And that's what we need to focus on the 4 of Cups. Someone has an idea or an offer for you, maybe more than one offer, and you just have to kind of look at it from a different perspective and see how it might feel for you, okay? Past, present, and future. So where did the fun go? We're looking at the past, and we have a card here that says humor. It says, I choose to focus on the lighter side of things. So many of you may look back to like younger days or earlier days and think, gosh, it was so fun back when I first got started. I used to laugh. I used to smile. I want you to be able to do that again. The joy in this card is fantastic. We have a happy Buddha at the center of this because laughter and joy creates abundance. People enjoy being around people that are bright because that's a way to kind of just radiate, right? Radiate this beautiful energy. We have the heart playing a prominent role on this card, the color of the heart, green coming through. Also the color of prosperity. It's not an accident that we put green on money. So prosperity, growth, and abundance, it's all the same, but this is coming from a place of joy. If you're not happy, if you're not smiling, if you can't laugh, and it's even frowned upon, like skip back to work or whatever, you know, this is also helping you understand maybe this isn't where I can grow in the long run. How's your self-esteem? Are you feeling lifted up? It says, I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Of course you do. When we were looking at you just a couple moments ago in that previous spread, I got 3 queens, basically everything but pentacles. I think I got swords, wands, and cups, but no pentacles. And that's why we got self-esteem. She's the only queen missing, and she's the one that holds the value. So I want you to focus on grounding yourself. Queen of Pentacles rules house and home. She rules being able to birth or release things, which is why I've been feeling pain in my stomach as I've been reading the career, even though I ate before I started. Has nothing to do with me. This is a psychic pain coming through. So I want you to focus on feeling like I'm ready to release this. I'm ready to birth this. I can do this. I have the Midas touch. Not literally, just kind of like you can touch things and things will grow. I think that's key. Focus on your self-esteem. If you're not getting it at your current job, or for those of you that are students, or for those of you that are retired, if your current activities aren't giving you what you need, this is a chance to recalibrate, because you should be able to smile and you should feel good about yourself. These are not crazy things to ask for. These are good things. And I feel like many of you have already made the decision. This is judgment reversed, but you're having a hard time accepting it. It said, I use my intuition in all aspects of my life, but am I trusting it? You already know what to do. I feel like many of you know that it's time to like change or go. That's basically, if I had to summarize everything here, which I'm going to try to do without pulling the camera down, I'm going to say it's time to decide, do I stay or do I go? I think for many of you, it's time to go. If you don't go, then you need to grow and expand, because we have growth and expansion with the world. And you should be able to see yourself there for a while, for a couple of years, perhaps. For many of you, if you can't, then there's going to be an opening that happens right around January. I don't know why some of you have put a deadline on January. It's convenient because sometimes if you are going to retire, for instance, you need to finish out the year. Some of you may have leases that end then. Some of you may just have this idea that I have to put X amount of time, and January is that punctuated date. Whatever it is, just know that the universe is giving you that as a sort of marker, and you can make it happen faster. You probably shouldn't make it happen slower. I feel like it's going to, one way or another, there's a change that's en route. Okay. And let me see if there's anything that we missed. You shouldn't have to feel pressured into doing anything, but there does come a point where you know that you've done everything that you could. And this is my confirmation to you that it's okay to move to the next level, whatever that might be for you. Okay. So there you go. Don't worry though. That's the one thing that's not going to help. Be active, be positive, be inquisitive. The worrying isn't going to help you. You did get really positive cards with the 9 of Pentacles, the World card, and the Page of Pentacles. So I feel really good about people's interest in what you have to offer. So I hope you can feel that as well. Okay. Thank you so much, Robert. And everybody else who's been giving, like I said, stick around until the end. It wasn't working last week, but I think it's working now. And usually I can see everybody that gave. So I'll do a little call out at the very, very end of this reading. We're pretty good on time. I'm going to, just because I saw people asking for so many, for career, I'll do one last thing. And then maybe next week, I'll just roll this into the weekly. I'll have you vote next week and just do a yes, no. All right, I'm going to do by elements, just one card for each. So we're going to do fire, earth, air, and water. So for fire, we have Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The message for fire is you have everything that you need in career and just in general here, because I'm just doing a mini general, with the people around you. Really focus right now on the bonds that you're building with others. It's a good time for those of you that are looking to go a little bit deeper in a relationship to do just that, whether it's business or personal. What a great card to get. So I really like what I see for fire here. Again, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. You have the 4 of Wands, indicating good relationships, strong beginnings, a nice foundation, and a chance to get to know people better, which is something that I talked about. Moving on to Earth, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, we have the 5 of Wands in reverse, which came up earlier today. Letting go of the burden a little bit, remembering to enter into that sort of group energy. You might have to lead. You might have to take the leadership role. I also want you to figure out, and I think this makes a lot of sense, particularly for Capricorn, to really look at, why am I doing this? Because we need to understand you can't just kind of like work for no reason. So this is getting back to the heart of matter. Like, why does this matter to me? Why am I doing it? And if something doesn't make sense, release it a little bit, because guess what? You can subtract in Wands and it's better. If you get rid of something, it's the 4 of Wands. If you get rid of a couple of things, it's the 3 of Wands. You can go all the way down to 1 from the 5. So do less, but do it better. And that's the message for Earth. Ground yourself in the purpose. Okay, for air, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. She made an appearance many times today. So for you, there's a heightened sensitivity. And I think that this makes a lot of sense, actually, for all the air signs, because you spend so much time giving, listening, intuiting, understanding, watching, kind of observing that where do you fit in the equation? I want you to do something for yourself this week. I want you to really just take care of you. And I think that's going to put you in a better place, because until you do, you might miss some opportunities. You may not be open to love or friendship or something on the horizon. So do something to practice good self-care this week if you're an air sign. And water, you are healing yourselves this week. We've got the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords reversed is a good card because it's telling you now, you know exactly what you don't want. You know how to avoid going down that path. And this week, the universe is challenging you to say no, to say, I don't want to do it, because you know exactly how the story ends and you don't want to go down that path. So this month you get to choose a different path, and it's going to involve putting up a boundary. And like it or not, that's the difficult part, but it's going to open up some good stuff if you can do that. So overall, pretty good stuff. Again, if I'm going to get the Three of Swords, I'd rather get it reversed. So if you say no, if you're clear, and if you hold yourself to something, then the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, you're going to be in a good place. So there you go. Those are the elements. And I'll try to maybe do that in this collective, since I'm not doing 3 different readings and I'm doing a weekly instead of a full Celtic cross. Let me know if you like this in the comments below when this is on replay. And if you want me to continue doing like 7 cards plus the elements, I might just do it at the beginning. I just wanted to see if the timing would work. Let's meditate now. Then I'm going to pull a final card. And the way that this final card works is if I didn't answer one of your questions, then you can silently meditate on it, and I'll pull a single card to see what the answer is. So it's worth sticking around. The meditation's only 2 minutes. I see a lot of people drop out. Just hang out, and then I'll answer your final question. And if you were kind enough to give back with Super Chat today, stick around at the end, and I'll personally thank you, okay? All right, so let me grab my singing bowl. And let's see. For today, I'm seeing a rainbow in my head. So we're going to work with the energy of a rainbow. Basically, that beautiful mist after a storm that's going to bring about abundance. As I'm getting set up here, just a reminder, I'd love for you to follow me on social media if you haven't already. Here are all my social media handles. You can click on the pinned comment above. I know I'm putting this up kind of fast. So please feel free to do that. If you want to give, you can do that. And at the end, I'll say thanks to you. And finally, please hit like and subscribe. It costs nothing, but it helps me more than you would imagine. And I appreciate that. So let's get into the meditation. Okay. Close your eyes for a second. Sit up tall, remembering the importance of posture. And I want you to imagine that a spotlight is directly overhead. You see this brilliant, let's imagine it could be the full moon if it's evening, like in Europe, or you can see it as the sun if you're here in America or somewhere else where it's daytime. So I want you to imagine that there's this brilliant light above you, sunlight or moonlight, creating a perfect circle around your body. We just had a full moon, so you could just imagine this moonbeam or sunbeam that's containing your body and your energy. And this is right on the precipice of a storm. So the air is suffused with, it's like all this beautiful mist around you. And there's just enough light shining through in this moon or sunbeam that there's this very delicate rainbow. And right now, it's hard for you to tell if you're at the end or if you're at the beginning of this rainbow. So I just want you to tune into this. And you notice that the rainbow is coming straight into your heart chakra. And just receive all the different light elements that come through, all the different spectrums of light that's kind of coming through into your heart. And I want you to say in this moment, I'm ready to receive love, light, and abundance in the highest form. And we're going to meditate on that for a moment until you can actually see that the light is starting to increase, and you might see the rainbow get even brighter, and we'll see where it's headed. So just focus on receiving that abundance, and then we will, I'll answer your final question afterwards. Nice deep breath. I want you now to feel like your battery is fully charged. Your intuitive mind is completely opened. Your third eye is open. And I want you to look with that third eye at all of the love, all of the light, all of the opportunity around you. And realize that you are the gold at the end of the rainbow. That you were the destination in this whole meditation and in everything that we did today. And what a wonderful bounty is in front of you. And just like that sort of myth where Persephone comes back, this is the celebration now of the springtime of your next path, of your next journey, irrespective of whatever season you're in. I know it's different in the Southern Hemisphere, but just imagine you're entering into a figurative springtime, that there is a bounty of growth around you, and see yourself open to, capable of, and participating in that abundance. Enjoy that. Keep that in your mind and in your heart. When you're ready, gently open your eyes, and let's take a look now at the final question that you have for me. A reminder that this final question can be anything that you want. Just keep it to yourself as I select a deck of cards here and decide what to focus on, or what the answer is here. I'm going to use the Light Seers deck for this one, actually. Okay, so let me shuffle here. Focus on whatever it is that you want to know more about, and let's see what the message is. Okay, so we got another 10 of Wands, which is a yes. This is an encouraging card. There's a few things that I really like about this envisioning of the 10 of Wands. Notice here how the person's gotten through the roughest part. The mountain, the climb up that hill has already happened, and now it's starting to kind of decline, and it's sort of like now it's easy. So I want you to imagine, just like if you've ever had a bike and you've pumped the pedals and got all the way to the top of the hill, it's just easy sailing afterwards. So imagine that things are going to get a little bit easier. Don't feel like you have to do this alone. Notice how she's using this bull here to carry the load. So you've got someone in your life that you can lean on. And movement is important. We've received the World card multiple times. We've received the 10 of Wands multiple times. We have a 2 of Wands, which shows ends and beginnings. So know this, that there is movement on the horizon for you. There could be a physical move. There could be something moving toward you, but I like what I see here with this. This is a graduation, a completion card, and it's telling you that it's time for something new. It's time for something better. It's a very, very much in alignment with what we talked about, okay? So it's an affirmative card. It would be a yes, and it also shows that it should get a little bit easier because the person, so one of the only particular cards here that illustrates this where the person isn't burdened. Normally with the 10 of Wands, they're like carrying this heavy load on their back. With this one, they've learned the lessons. It's easier. They're ready. They're not fighting it. They're excited and ready for something new on the horizon. Okay. Okay. Before I say thanks to everyone, just a couple of quick reminders again here at the end. First of all, if you'd like to look at my readings, I will be doing, like I said, the final 2 for September this week. So I'm going to try to pull my schedule here if I've got it. Well, you can, here it is. Here's my live forecast. So if you go here, past, present, future forecasts are all there, and you can click on that and see what's coming up. But I will be doing Aquarius on Monday and Pisces on Thursday, and I have another collective on Sunday. So that's the schedule for the week ahead. I'm taking Friday off, but I'll be back on Sunday. If you like what you see here and you want to show thanks, you can click the super chat icon here. If you happen to watch this a little bit later, you can do super thanks. It's right by the share button. And also, please hit like and subscribe if you haven't. I'm really close to a milestone, and we'll do something fun for 300,000 whenever I hit it. It'll either be, at this current rate, it might be a couple months, but the sooner it happens, the sooner I can do an extra reading. So if you've never subscribed, let's get closer to that milestone. Hit thumbs up if you haven't already. You know how to follow me if you'd like to. All of them are up here on the screen. Also, I have a book for fans of sci-fi or fantasy. The link is on my website, so you can go there. A lot of times people ask where they can get it. It's on my website. And that's everything. All right, so let me see if I can do this. If you were kind enough to give back a little bit, give me a second here, and I'm going to try to say thank you. Let me see if everything works here, because I can usually see it. If I can refresh it, I will say thanks to everybody that's present. And hopefully I can pronounce names and everything. It looks like I can see it. Let me put my glasses on and read these. So this is my way of just saying thanks and acknowledging it without breaking the flow. So for everybody today that was kind enough to give, I just want to say thanks. And even if you couldn't, you just showing up makes all the difference to me. I'm just saying thanks to people that also help me do more of these. So here we go. Special thanks to Tina Z, to Luzli Rodriguez, to Christina, to AB, to Christina Ambres, to Kathy, to Barb, to Candace, to Mimi, Christy, Cass, Magic Mystic, Stephanie Santiago, Crystal Sparkles, Cass, Nuch196, Popcorn, Nadia, Deepika, the Mad Monica, Elizabeth, KK, Jeannie, Penny, April, Jarina, Aurora, Megan, Runsti. I'm sorry if I didn't say that right, that correctly, but thank you. Carol T, HTL, Miss Moses, Cass again, I think. Christina, Robert, thanks so much. Diane, 62, and Sunny, you're following D, Fariza, so many people today. Thank you so much. Kate, Misty Creates, Sansi, Claudia, Jean as well, Anika, KP, and Shrutki, I think. Thank you so much. Hopefully I got everybody and I didn't butcher the names. I hope not. And then I think I got a couple of new ones here. Let me see if anybody, okay, I see new ones coming in. So I'm gonna do my best here to just look at it in the live chat here. So I think we got some late ones here. Lily, Sweetie, Beverly, Margarita, Yvonne, and Mauricia, I think maybe. Thank you so much. Apologies if I didn't get your names right. It's hard to figure out how to pronounce them, but I appreciate all of you. You made collectives like this possible, and I hope you liked the fact that I said it at the end and it didn't disrupt the flow, okay? Lots of love and light. Thanks to Maria and Dakota who stuck around here till the end, and all of you as well. Have a blessed weekend, and let me know in the comments when this is live what you liked, what you'd like to see, and in the meantime, take care, and I'll see Aquarius tomorrow. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend and a great week ahead. Wishing you lots of love and light. Bye-bye.